because you have this great financial opportunity and you have this product that you think is magical does not mean that people are going to just jerk themselves out of their rut or out of their groove or out of their flow or out of what they're doing with their life and pay attention to your offer.
Good morning from Malaysia. I'm now, it's a live, as the title says, it's a live generic Momentum Masterclass opening preview, opening session. So it's only take 1 hour. So what's interesting insight is on this opening preview. So let's learn and enjoy.
I plan on spending the rest of my life there. So when my sponsor in network marketing called me and said, hey, come to a meeting, let me show you how to make a lot of money, I said no. I said I'm not interested in any of that. I'm not interested in going to a meeting. I don't want to meet strangers. I don't want to dress up. I don't care about all your big money thing. I just wasn't interested. And that sounds like a disconnect, because why wouldn't somebody making $1,200 a month working in a chicken plant want to earn extra money? It's really simple. It's not that I didn't want to earn extra money. I would have done backflips to earn an extra $100 a month at Foster Farms. But you know, we all got this thing called a comfort zone. And if what you describe to a prospect,
I don't know what happened to the Facebook, you know. Maybe yesterday the breakout, the breakout for about 6 hours. So I think the Facebook is still not back in full. I mean, in full operation. I don't know what happened to my Facebook live video screen. It's small. Alright, never mind.
So don't be surprised just because people aren't living the high life, that they're not interested in your opportunity, perhaps the way you're explaining it to them. So how did I end up in network marketing? Well, this is like the first lesson of Momentum Masterclass. Here's the first lesson. Every prospect has a number on their forehead. They got a number tattooed on their forehead. You can't see it because it's invisible, but it's there. And that number is, how many times do they need to be invited? Perhaps in different ways, perhaps even by different people. But how many times do they need to be invited to take a look at the opportunity before they look? Everybody's got a number stamped on their forehead. Mine was 4. You can put in the chat, folks, all of you, drop it right in the chat. How many times did you have to be asked to look at your first opportunity before you looked? There's a lot of people that are 1, right? And you're still here. There's some magic to the 1s, right? You were really leaning up against the door and you were ready to do this. But there's some of us that were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody's got a number stamped on their forehead. So the question is, if I went through your database, your network, your phone, your contacts, if I went through your network with you, and I asked you how many times have you invited this person to look at your opportunity, I can tell you the answer for almost all of you. None. I mean, if we're looking at 200 people in your contacts, 90% of them, you haven't even asked them once yet. But the real magic is, they've all got a number stamped on their forehead that's probably 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And you're not even close to that. The ones that you have asked once, you've only asked once. And then we wonder, why aren't we successful? Well, I have a lot of empathy for stubborn, slow learners in network marketing, because I was one of them. And I starved to death for 2.5 years before I figured some stuff out. feature it. So they spent a year researching the profession. And they called a lot of people and asked a lot of people about stories, and I ended up as the poster child on the cover of Success Magazine in March of 1992. And that's not because I was the most successful networker, not at all. I mean, Rich DeVos should have been on the cover. He owned, $10 billion a year Amway, he and Jay Van Andel. But, there is a story about how I ended up on the success, which I'll tell you at a later date. But that was a pinnacle. I had a lot of highs and lows. After that, I built a big organization. I built my own company, which was moderately successful. And this is Kimmy and I today. 43 years later, we live on the island of Lanai, which is the largest private island in the world, owned by Larry Ellison. He's worth $100 billion, and he lives right behind us. And so that's the kind of life, folks, that's available to you, the kind of journey that's available to you in network marketing. If you just do the basics, you do the right things, you pick the right company. We're going to talk about picking the right company. I'm not suggesting any of you change companies. You just need to have some wisdom about how you build success in this profession. And your company is a really important partner. And I'm going to coach you on even how to interact with your company so you're a better partner with your current company. One of the themes that you'll see throughout Momentum Masterclass is a brand and a philosophy called the Authentic Networker. That's a free Facebook group. Any of you can join it if you just disclose what company you're building, your name, and maybe how many years or something like that you've been in network marketing. There's a ton of free content in that group, and it's all around the Authentic Networker, and I'll be talking a lot about who that is, what that is, in this program, because it's a particular philosophy that I believe allows you to be full-time in network marketing 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, still on fire about it, still loving it, still doing 90-minute webinars about it. And I don't think I need to do this financially. I just love doing it. And one of the things that you won't find in network marketing, I know Ron Henley's on here, and Tom Shadal might be on here, and there's a few others, but you won't find very many network marketers that have been network marketers for 45 years, or 40 years, or 30 years. And you might wonder, why is that? Why aren't there people that have been doing this for decades and decades and decades? And one of the reasons is the way people go about being a network marketer does two things. It wears out their audience. They wear people out. The hype and all the exaggeration and all the speed and all the record setting and all the rank advancing and all the money and all of that kind of sense of urgency, that desperation wears out your network. It wears out your friends. It wears out your family. It wears out the people that you might want to involve in your business. They get tired of all of that energy. It's laid out in a way that does not inspire them. But guess who it wears out the most? You, the network marketer. And that's why there aren't very many people that have been doing this for 40 or 50 years that are still doing it, that are on fire about it, that love it. Now, shouldn't you be able to do something for a while and retire? Absolutely. Pick the right company and the right product. You should. But I don't know what you retire into that's more fun than helping people with personal and financial freedom. You might want to familiarize yourself with my website, richardbrook.com. A ton of free content on this website. I mean, hours and hours and hours and hours of free content on this website. It'll also give you a sense of who I am and how I do things philosophically. So let's start with the philosophy of the Authentic Networker, because if you're going to do this thing with me, you're going to want to consider adopting this philosophy. You're going to want to be the change that we want to see in network marketing. So one of the things things that you'll see in the training over the next 8 weeks is I'm continuing to encourage you to choose vulnerability over posturing. Vulnerability over posturing. Well, what is posturing? Well, we all know what that is, and I'm not totally against posturing, right? I get it. You know, it makes sense. It has some value. It has a place, right? But if the only way you are with people that you're looking to build a business with or inspire is that you're the man or you're the woman, and my life is 100% what it looks like on Instagram or Facebook, right? Like it's just wonderful and perfect, and everybody's rank advancing, and everybody's building, and everything's perfect, and everybody's wonderful, and look at my beautiful selfies. And if you're always posturing that you're in a position of power over your prospect, you wear them out. You wear you out. Maybe think about the Wizard of Oz. Remember the scene in the Wizard of Oz where the wizard is, I am the great and almighty Wizard of Oz. Lots of energy, putting out all that energy, all that noise, all the smoke, all the fire, and probably Toto is the one that gives us access to, well, what does it look like to be a vulnerable network marketer? And it's pull the curtain back and share some truth. And the magical thing that happens to the wizard when he drops into vulnerability with it, which is authenticity, it's the truth, it's transparent, it's real. The awesome thing that happens to the wizard when he drops into that place where he has the faith and the trust in humanity and the trust in himself to drop into that vulnerable place and tell the truth about his fears and his weaknesses and all of that, is he drops into a place where he's just a magical coach. And that's the vision that I have for all of you, is to have the courage to build a business and lead people and interact with people from an authentic standpoint, from a real standpoint, from a transparent, be vulnerable, if you will. Choose transparency over hype. And, that's a delicate conversation because we are marketers. I'm not talking about putting a negative spin on your marketing. Not talking about doing that at all, but you'll just see how we do it in the Authentic Networker, that we let people peek behind the curtain so that they know we don't believe our own hype. Because guess what? They don't believe it, not for very long. I mean, really, all they have to do is sign up and join the program, and they find out the hype's not real, right? So, hey, let's not bait and switch them. Let's bring them into a program that's real. Let's sell them from the beginning on, this is a real deal. This is real life. Doesn't always work beautifully. Not everybody's happy here. This company, by the way, is not perfect. They're quite a bit less than perfect, right? It's kind of like a marriage, right? Find the person you want to have your problems with and, hitch your wagon to them for life. Authentic networkers choose candid, real, and direct over spin. It's just more of transparency over hype and less time spinning stuff and more time just telling the truth. And what we go for in the Authentic Networker is that we trust as our number one strategy. Trust is our number one strategy. Right? So how do you get trust? You get trust by hyping people and spinning people and manipulating people and posturing with people. You actually don't. You might get some results manipulating them, but you don't get trust. You get trust by telling the truth and honoring your word and being there for people. And those are the strategies that we use. We choose relationships over revenue, and that doesn't mean that we're not about building revenue. We absolutely are, but here's my philosophy about that. When you're 95 years old or 105 years old or 115 years old and you're laying on your deathbed and you got about 2 or 3 minutes to process your life and then it's over, I rather doubt you're going to think about how much money you made or how much money you left on the table or how much money you wish you would have made. I rather doubt that that's going to be what sums up your life. I believe sums up our life is not how many years we lived, and not how much money we made, not the size of our house or our car or any of that stuff. I think what sums up our life, I just believe this, is memories. You know, that's how we quantify life. Not years, but memories. And what you have an opportunity to do in network marketing is 10x, 100x, 1000x the memories that you would get over a normal course of life. If you compare me in the chicken plant to me as a network marketer, I'm 1000x the memories I would have got in the chicken plant. The kind of memories that I would reflect on my deathbed as, wow, that was special, right? That was amazing. And some of it might be amazing, epic failures. And it's never alone. It's always with people. Those are the memories that we cherish, are with people. So when I say, as an authentic networker, we cherish relationships over revenue, we realize that most of the people that we meet on our journey of life, most of the people that we connect with, that we have relationships with, are not going to be our personally enrolled distributors. Those people are going to be a vast minority of all the people we meet. Most people are going to say no. They're going to mean it for at least as long as we're asking them, and they're never going to join our team. There's going to be a lot more people that touch your life that don't join your team than do. And so cherish those relationships, because what do you get out of that are memories, and that's life, if that makes sense to you. And the last thing the authentic networker does is they choose duplicatable consistency over reckless record setting. And what does that mean? That's real simple, right? And one of the things I kind of rail against in our profession, that a lot of people teach in our profession, is here's the 7-figure earner. You know, look at this fancy person on stage. You know, they've sponsored, 5,000 people, and, they've ranked advanced, they've hit the top of the comp plan every time they've joined the company, and, they're just like making $100,000 a month, and they're not even sure how. And we put that person on stage, and we make them a hero or heroine. And yes, they deserve the ultimate of recognition. They do, and respect, because, they've done the undoable, right? The problem, though, with making the unicorn the model, parading the unicorn out, and having the unicorn teach the masses how to build a business, is the unicorn doesn't know how to do it the way the masses need to do it. The unicorn knows how to go live on Facebook or Instagram every day, and, boom, things just go viral. Or they make all these crazy videos on TikTok, and they got all these algorithms going on, and boom, they got 1 million people. Or they just know how to call, 50 people a day and end up recruiting 5 people a day or 150 people a month. And that's great for them, right? And they're fun. But the masses can't do that. Here's a secret to duplication and building a business. We have got to get everybody we touch, everybody we enroll, everybody that listens to us on our team, when we tell them, here's what we need, here's what we're doing, here's what we're building, here's how we build it, here's what you need to do. The magic, the holy grail is, we need to get every one of those people to say to themselves, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And if you get a bunch of people on your team saying, I can do that, guess what they do? They go do it. Right? So, if what you're parading in front of them is, hey, let me show you how to sponsor 30 people in 30 days. Well, that's really impressive. Except, number one, even if 1,000 people sign up for that program, 1,000 people pay $1,000, that's $1 million for that program. Guess how many are going to sponsor 30 people in 30 days? 5. Hardly anybody. And guess how many people hear that and say, I'm out. I can't do this. So where's the duplication? Network marketing is all about a lot of people doing a little bit each. It's not about a few people doing a lot. It's about masses and masses and masses of people just doing a little bit each. Amway's the #1 company in our profession. their products and sell a little bit of product, and they maybe enroll 1 or 2 people a month. Millions. $8.5 billion company, #1 company in our profession. Since I've been a network marketer, 45 years. For the whole 45 years, they've been #1. Crazy. Probably missed one, but my things in the way. Momentum Masterclass, who's it for? It's for you if you're new. You're new and you want to build a team. Or you've been around a while and you're stuck. Or you plateaued out and you want to get back in momentum. It's also for people that have been trained in a way that burns them out, wears you out. You can't do it anymore. You can't spin the plates. You can't fake it till you make it anymore. You can't be the man behind the curtain. You just got to come out.
All right, friends.
You got to be real.
This is the everything. This is the things that Richard Blissbrook is going to teach. Is going to teach in the Momentum Masterclass. And from here. 就是在这里呢，朋友们，我们可以就是发觉到Richard 刚刚说的，他说网络营销生意呢，网络营销生意是就拿这个 Amway 来做一个例子。Amway 今天是这个网络营销生意龙头老大，就是排第一，它的 revenue 排第一，它的业绩排第一。为什么呢？他做什么事情呢？他们做什么事情呢 ？Amway 是有成千上万的人，成千上万的顾客做什么事情呢？做一点点的事情，就是每一个人，这成千上万的人，每一个人做一点点的事情，那就是做什么事情？那就是他们购买 Amway 的产品，消费 Amway 的产品，然后呢，就是这些人呢，就每个月就去寻找一两个人加入这个 Amway 的生意。所以呢，网络营销生意就像这个 Amway 一样，我们做的东西呢，不是我们不需要很厉害，就像我之前所分享的，我们不需要很厉害，我们不需要是 top sales person， 就是我不需要是很厉害的人才，我不需要很厉害的口才，我不需要是什么销售的精英 ，no， 因为销售的精英 not apply in network marketing business， 就是完全不能够运用在销售这个人员，销售精英完全不能够 apply 在，就是你有很厉害的 skills 技能，但是呢，销售技能呢，但是你不能够运用在这个网络营销生意，因为我们的架构，我们的生意模式呢不一样。我们的收入架构也是不一样。你很厉害，你招募就是你寻找500个顾客、1000个顾客，但是呢，你赚不到钱，你赚不到钱，因为收入架构不是这样子的。收入架构不是这样子的，收入架构就是我们的收入架构就是像 Amway 这样成千上万的顾客。做一点点的事情，就是每个人购买自己喜欢的产品，消费自己喜欢的产品。就像我在我的网络营销生意也是一样，我每个月做什么事情呢？我每个月就是购买600-700块的产品，自己使用，自己消费，消费自己生意的产品，然后呢，每个月就是去招募，去寻找1-2个人加入我的网络营销生意，就是这么简单。所以朋友们这就是网络营销生意，这就是网络营销生意所以呢，当然还有其他一些东西，就是关于为什么我喜欢这个 Richard Brook 的分享的教导的训练的课程？为什么？因为我要做一个 authentic 的人，而且呢。Richard 他们就是他的概念，他的 concept 就是我要建立一个 authentic network， 我要建立一个 authentic network， 就是我要建一个 真实的人在这个网络营销生意。因为网络营销生意呢，我想如果你有加入这个网络营销生意呢，你曾经后悔过，你后悔过，你说我被骗了，对吗？你说你被骗了，哇！你要购买一大堆的产品，就是要购买几千块配套啦，几万块配套啦，然后存货在家里，或者他们跟你说哇，有几十个不同的方式赚取这个收入，哇，这个公司呢很厉害，很棒，一大堆这一些炒作的东西，但是呢，到后来就发生很多事情，对吗？发生很多事情。公司不见，公司产品不好，收入计划呢，原来只是那一些，推荐人呢，就是给你看的，哇，我们团队很厉害，我们赚到很多钱，我们有跑车，我们有飞机，但是呢，这一些都是炒作，所以呢，就是我要学习，就是在网络营销生意呢。我要做一个真实的人，就是我们分享真实的东西，真实的产品，我们不要去炒作所以呢，在我的这个视频分享呢，就是真实的东西。网络营销生意是什么样的生意模式？它的生意架构是怎样的？那么它的收入架构是怎样的？那么你要做什么事情？就是每一个人你要做什么事情？我们不是不愿做，就是坐在那边，哇，你只要找到就是你的推荐人跟你说，哇，朋友麦，你今天加入我的网络营销生意呢，你只要去找到2只老鹰，就是一边一个老鹰，然后呢，老鹰就会很厉害，他就会去找很多人。No，这不是就是我们教导的，这也不是在我的网络营销生意教导的，就是我的网络营销生意呢，就是我们每一个只是做一点点的事情，每一天只是做一点点的事情。一点点，每个人做一点点的事情。好，朋友们，我的分享就到这里。我希望今天的分享能够带给你们一些的价值，就是关于这个网络营销生意。好，点赞留言，然后把这个视频分享出去，就是让更多人也学习到这视频所分享的东西。好，朋友们，如果你也想要加入我的网络营销生意呢，打一个电话给我0168786007，让我与你分享更多。好，我的分享就到这里。保持安全，保持健康，保持强壮。我们下一次视频分享再见。好，拜拜。